been a data analyst has been, the most constant one has been Excel. I can't seem to remember any tool that um I didn't have to use. Even other analysis tools, they come and they go, but the most constant one has always been Excel. So, and then it also depends based on the organization you work for. The organization might decide they want to use some organization may decide that they want to use Google Sheets, while some might decide they want to use Excel. It's but the what I'm just trying to say is that the idea behind both Excel and Google Sheets is the same. Yeah, they are basically the same. So as long as you know Excel, you can pretty much find your way navigating around Google Sheets. So for this class, I want to go over some of the rules we would have here. If you have a question, I like to take my classes, if you have a question you ask, I like to answer on the spot. But for this class, if you have a question, just drop it in the chat box. If I can answer it on the spot, I will answer it. I would see the question once it pops up. But if I can't answer it on the spot, I would give time, or I would dedicate a time, to answer your question. That is if I don't answer it on the spot. And also, if you want to say something, just um, raise your hands or drop a comment in the chat, and I would see it. So without further, you know, let's begin. So yeah, this is me. This is me, and so far I have been a data analyst for since 2021. I I got into data analysis in 2021 during my youth service actually. So um, before then, I was a front end developer before I was a front end developer before before my youth service. While in school, I was dabbling in front end, but during service, I decided to make the switch, and I was lucky enough to also serve in an organization that focus, a lot on data. So meaning my transition was quite smooth to being a data analyst. Then from there, I moved on, expanded my skill and my experience. Then I moved away from data analysis. Now, data analysis is, how do I put it? I would say it is the general classification, while pricing is a subset of being a data analyst. You have to be a data analyst before you can be a pricing analyst. Then from then on, that's been pricing analyst still. So yeah, that's a summary about me. Um, what else? Okay, then what our agenda is, basically our agenda for today, we will just be looking at Excel, basically what what Excel entails, and the different applications what we can achieve, how we can achieve, those different things in Excel. And yeah, basically pretty much that's it. Uh, yeah. So the goal of this masterclass basically is just to reinforce for those of us that have experience in Excel, just to reinforce our knowledge base. There could one thing I've learned across my career is that there is always something to learn from any class, from any course you take. There's always something. It might not be a lot, but there's always something valuable you get from a class. That is why you constantly you get to learn. You relearn. You can be doing something a particular way, and you you come across something and you figure out, oh, this is a much better approach to what I've been doing previously. So for those of us that have experience, in Excel, that is that. And for those of us that you know are complete are newbies, this will be a very good starting point for you. Um, I know 3 hours is and we've not even started, and we've eaten into our 3 hours, but that is why this class is recorded, so that, and I'll make it available after, so we can go over the class, to properly, digest whatever um I I give out today. So, and from our responses, about 54%, 54% of us said we are complete beginners. So that is 54% of us said we are complete beginners. What is this? Hold on, I'm trying to show this. All right, this is what I wanted to show. Hmm. So yeah, 54% of us said we are we are beginners. So I feel like a lot of us would gain great value from this. And for the 45% of us who have experience in Excel, like I said earlier, there's always something to learn, something to gain. So watch out for that. So back to this. All right. So today I'll be using some Excel some Excel files to take us through today's class. The files I'll share the file with us after the class, so we can on our own, we can look through, or we can go through the class on our own. All right, Dara, I would answer your question after. So this is Excel. This is the document that I'm going to use to take us in this class. So this file basically, it's self-explanatory. It walks us through every step of the way in Excel. So you are not lost. You're not lost along the way. Along the road. Lost. All right. So I'll do a quick explanation of the Excel. Basically, it will open. To mostly open for you a blank page, something like this. It would open a blank page like this for you, and a quick explanation of the interface. This is our home ribbon. This is our home ribbon over here, and this is so the home ribbon basically contains everything we need to work or on how to make our Excel look smarter, or look, if you're familiar with Word, when you type out your documents, sometimes you need to change the font, you need to increase the font, you need to align your text. That is basically what the home ribbon allows us. So you can see the different format options. We can change our fonts option is over here. Our conditional formatting is also included in our home ribbon. This is our style ribbon. Then we have our insert ribbon. So insert basically allows us to you can create your pivot table, you can create your charts are over here, filters, slicers. That's what you find um on your insert ribbon. Then draw. Basically, if you want to, this is not really needed basically. Then formulas. Formulas is I usually refer to formula as the powerhouse of Excel, because you can't really excel well in Excel if you are not familiar with your formulas. Okay. Sorry, let me quickly. Good morning. Thank you for listening to Saturday. All right, that is fine. I would provide the link to the I'll provide the link to the class later on, so you can, if you can stay with us for as long as you can, that would be nice. Then our formulas. Yes, like I was saying, I refer to this as the powerhouse of Excel. Excel has over 400 formulas that any formula you can think of. I'm sure it is in Excel. Excel, has it. So, um, but as a data analyst, one thing I have realized over the years is that, meaning, for the fact that we have over 400 formulas, I'm not sure I know up to 20. I can name up to 20, but in a year, I'm not sure I would use up to 20 of these formulas. There'll be rare occasions where you would have to, obviously, maybe you are trying to work on a project and your project requires, some certain level of analysis, and you do your research, and maybe ChatGPT is telling you, oh, use this formula. Those might be the first time you'll be coming across, that formula. So one thing I always tell my students is that there's a pattern to how formulas work. As long as you can see what the formula is and what the corresponding input is supposed to be, that is the logic behind, working with formulas in Excel. Yeah, that's formula. Then data. So data also, apart from formulas, data is also a very important ribbon in. So it's also a very important ribbon in Excel, because this is how we get data into Excel. So if you are working on if you are working on a large data set, you need a way to quickly, bring in bring in data on a day to day. As a data analyst, you would need to, not even the data analyst, even in your everyday, in your professional life. Yeah, I'm sure we all work with data. There's no career that doesn't work with data. We may look at data in a different way, but let's say you work with data every day, you need to find a consistent and sure way to import your data, into Excel, and that is what your data ribbon, basically contains. So that is a brief explanation of the different ribbons in Excel. Um, Another thing I usually say is that all these things would grow on you, yes, as long as you use Excel consistently and constantly. They would grow on you. You figure things out. You would Before ChatGPT came, Google, I would say Google is your best friend. Everything you need to know, or everything that confuses you, you find them on Google. Just tell how to do this, how to do that. So also another thing, Excel, the way Excel is structured in a way that every analysis tools are structured. Columns and rows. Columns and rows. So columns are your numbering or your lettering. That is from A all the way to, I think it stops at XYZ. So A, B, C, D. Once you get to the end of Z, we start again from A, B. That is how Excel is structured. And for our rows, Excel can go all the way to 1 million rows. We can go all the way to 1 million rows, meaning if you're an organization that your your data set is going beyond your data set is going beyond 1 million rows, you that is the cue for you to that is a cue for you to know that, oh, your company has grown beyond Excel, beyond the capability of Excel. It doesn't mean your company still won't still use Excel. It just means that the bulk of the organization's um usage on Excel would reduce, a lot. You would use Excel maybe just for some minor things, but that means you would have to move to the more powerful, maybe SQL, yeah, basically SQL, or yeah, using Python to now do your analysis. So how do we find our way around Excel? We find our way around Excel using our rows and our columns. So like I explained earlier, we have our columns all the way to XYZ, and we have our rows from 1 to 1 million. Now, if you are asked to go to column D18, for example, column D18, that means you would have to look for column D and also look for row 18, which is where I am currently on at the moment. This is column D18, and we can see that just right here. Can we see my screen properly? Like, is it clear enough? Is my screen visible enough? All right. Okay. Thank you. So as you can see, I clicked here now, and it has changed this to B3, meaning I am on column B row 3. Column B row 3. Let me see if I can color this. There's a way to color this. Okay, I don't know that function yet. All right. So I'll move on. There's this option where Excel would color up, wherever column you are on. I don't have that functionality on my own Excel. Anyways, so that is basically your Excel. And also my Excel this is Excel on a MacBook. It looks the same way if you are using a Windows laptop, but the difference is not much. The difference is not much. You would find no difficulty from what you are looking at on your screen right now, from if you are using a Windows laptop. So I just wanted to point that out. So yeah. So now that I've explained, a bit of Excel to us, I would now move to our working file. The files would I'll be using to go through this class for us. So I'll close this, and I am back here. So for this file, we have we have different we have different sheets. Now, how do I explain that? Let me use the most familiar application I think we all know about. So your Google Chrome, for example, your Google Chrome has different tabs in it. Your Google Chrome has different tabs in it, and those tabs, they contain different information. They contain different data sets. Let me put it that way. This Excel as a whole with this different. So in our case here, Excel tabs here are called sheets. So these are different sheets. I have my field sheet. This is split sheet. This is transport sheet. Sort and filter, tables, drop down, analyze, chart, pivot table. So these are different sheets. So the whole of this document is called a workbook. So this is an Excel workbook. So an Excel workbook contains an Excel workbook contains more than one sheet. So, and how do we create a sheet? You can see this plus sign over here. That is how simple it is, to create a sheet. So yeah, so we'll be taking a tour of what we have today. I would share this file after this class. I would share it with us so we can also, play around with it, look at it, and learn, you know, go over the class once again. Because I also believe you would not learn, you will not learn everything in these 3 hours. It's absolutely not possible. You would learn a lot, but you can't learn everything during this class. So it's invalid. Okay. Sorry, who is that? All right. So I'm going to start with this. I realized that I didn't have these sheets in the other documents. So this basically, let me bring this in. I want to be sure we can see this very well. Let me bring it closer to us. uh I think this is better. Hmm. So basically, in Excel, 95%, let me say 98% of the time, you are working with numbers. Yes, 98% of the time you are working with numbers. And that is why I like to begin with this. Doing basic maths in Excel. Um, just like our normal math is. And as you can see, just like this document I am using over here, it breaks down everything for us. You can basically follow along, what I am doing. So doing basic maths with Excel, we can add, subtract, multiply, divide in Excel without using any built-in function. Earlier I explained that this formula ribbon is the most powerful maybe part of Excel, but there are still some basic things you can do without using any of these formulas. And how do we do that? If the number one rule is always to use our equals to sign. Your equals to sign has to be like your best friend. Without your equals to sign, it's just like you are you are just wasting your time. If you want to do anything math based, you need to invoke your equals to. Your equals to is what would update Excel that okay, yes, a an operation wants to happen here. Let me get ready, for this. And you can see all formulas start with an equal sign. So if you want to do your addition, your subtraction, your multiplication, or your division, it starts with your equals to sign. And we have a simple example over here. Now, another thing I need to explain is our formula bar. Our formula bar is where we can, quickly see what is behind the scene. When you watch movies are the finished products, but sometimes maybe you go on YouTube, the production studio might decide to give us a sneak peek to how to how things were made on set. Your formula bar, I refer to that as your backstage, as where the magic happens. You can see that on this cell, that's cell G3. On cell G3, I have 3 over here. But the question you'll be asking yourself is, how did we come up with 3? Did we just type 3? No, we didn't type 3. You can see here our numbers to use. We have 1 and we have 2. And the operation tells us we should do addition. And we automatically got 3. So how did we arrive at 3? The magic is in our formula bar, and this is our formula bar. Our formula bar is always located just beneath our ribbon in Excel. So you can see that our formula bar says equals to C3 plus C4. And you can see it here, we have it written out boldly. Then press enter. Now C3, this is C3. C3 is where we have our 1. And this is C4. C4 is where we have our 2. Meaning, in this cell G4, please add cell C3 and cell C4. Meaning that if we change anything in any of these cells, our number over here would also change. So if I change this to, let's say from 1, I change it to 4, and I press enter, this changes. It changes automatically. So let me undo. You can see that the others also change because all these are connected to this cell over here. They are all connected. So any figure we change in any of this cell will change all this. So this is G3. G3 is C3 plus C4, which is our addition, giving us 3. And our subtraction is 1 minus 2 gives us minus 1. Multiplication, 1 times 2 gives us 2. Division, 1 divided by 2 gives us 0.5. And 1 raised to power 2 gives us 1. So that is a simple operation in Excel. A simple operation where we didn't have to use any formula at all. All we just had to do was use our operation, our basic operators, which is our plus, is plus, which is plus, minus, asterisk. Asterisk is our multiplication, then slash is division, and our upper hand, our power hand is our raised to. So these are basic operators in Excel. These are basic operators in Excel. If and when you're a data analyst or you decide to to expand your scope as a data analyst, these are things you would see more frequently. So moving on. So this basically just explains more on our on what I've previously explained. It said Excel is made up of individual cells that are grouped into rows and columns. Rows are numbered and columns are lettered. There are over 1 million rows and 16,000 columns. And you can put formula in any of them. So over 1 million rows and 16,000 columns. Formulas can contain cell reference, ranges of cell reference, operators, and constants. The following are all examples of formula. So what we did up here, use C4, C3 plus C4 is an example of a formula. We can decide to not even reference a cell. We can decide to just input our numbers like that. That is an example of a formula. And the last one, this as a whole is a formula, but this sum here, this SUM, is called a function. This is a function. And like I explained before, under our formula ribbon is where you find all the functions we have in Excel. Over 400 of them. You'd find them under formula. These are all functions. These are financial functions, logical functions, text functions, date and time, lookup, maths. We even have statistics, engineering, cube, information, compatibility, and web. Anything you are looking for, you would find it. It's like Lagos market. You would find it there. And the way formula works is pretty simple. Like I was saying, all you just have to do is know what and what would be in your function. Now, I throughout this class, I would be interchanging function and formula. Don't confuse it. They are the same thing, or I like to see it that way. They are the same thing, but in proper, let me properly explain. When you look at this as a whole, this whole thing here is a formula. This whole thing from beginning, from this equal to sign, from equal to sum A1 all the way to C10 and the close of this bracket, this is a formula. But right here, this here is a function. This sum we are looking at over here, it is a function. This is a function. Don't forget that. So meaning we have over 400 functions in Excel. But the whole of this is a formula. It's all a formula. So what does the formula contain? All right. Please, you have a question. You raised up your hand.
Yes, sorry. Okay, good morning, and sorry for interrupting. Thank you for the class. So far, it's been great, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. So I want to ask, you said function and formula are two different. I want you to explain the difference between both, because you were showing a function the other time when you were on the rows and column. You're saying, oh, that's formulas. C3 plus C4 and stuff. So now this one too. This SUM, what does it mean? How does it work? And the formula too. I want you to use layman. For us personally, for me that I'm new here, there are a lot of things that will get confused about. So now saying SUM, A10, and then you said it's a formula and then it's different from a function. So I want you to please explain. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So thank you for that. So first thing I'll say is that don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Now, I would start from the simplest thing. So number one is know that this part right here, where you can see this FX, this is our formula bar. Our formula bar. Our formula bar, meaning anything we are typing out, it would show here, and it would, this is where we can see what is behind the scene. So let's say you've done 1 plus 1. In Excel, you get 2. But how will you know it is 1 plus 1? It is from your formula bar, you would see that, okay, this is 1 plus 1. Now, this SUM you are looking at over here, this is called sum. Sum, meaning add, summation. You are summing things together. That is basically your 1 plus 1. That is what sum means. And let me come over here to better explain. Now, these are the different functions we have. That, like the quick functions we have. We have our sum with this summation logo at the back. Meaning anywhere you see sum, meaning you are basically adding together. That is what sum means. Average, you want to look for the average. That is what average means. Count numbers, you want to count how many numbers are here. How many of us are on this call? We are 22. Max, meaning you want to look for the maximum number in a list of numbers. Mean, you want to look for the minimum number in a list of numbers. That's just the basic explanation of these functions. I now said as a whole, like as a whole like this, as a whole like this. This is called a formula. As a whole. I said this one is formula bar, so don't mix it up. This is just a formula bar. It's just like your search bar on your Chrome. This is a search bar, but this is a formula complete from your equal to sign all the way to your closing brackets over here. So I hope I've explained. Yes, thank you very much. So I would move on from this. So yes, I'll move on from this. So let me quickly explain. So as you can see, this is the sum. This is your function. And from your opening bracket to your closing bracket, that is where your argument will be. So you are telling Excel to, okay, Excel, please sum up these things for me. Excel will now tell you, okay, you want me to sum up something. What do you want me to sum up? Like what? What exactly are you telling me to sum up? So you now tell Excel, okay, from cell A1, I explained understanding cell the other time. So from cell A1, sum it all the way to cell A10. That is what you are basically telling Excel. Sum it from cell A1, sum it all the way to cell A10. I hope that clears that. So I just wanted to use this file to explain this part. I'll move to where's my second file? This one. Yes. Now, functions and formulas, that one is a bit advanced. So once we move further a bit on this class, I would go back to take that. But I'll just quickly explain functions, the different things we can do, in Excel. So saving time in Excel, if you want to save time, let's say you have a large data set. Sorry. You have a large data set. This is so we'll just use this table over here to explain what we are saying over here. So save time by filling cells automatically. So you've done the first one and your Excel table extends all the way to maybe, let's say, 1,000 rows. And you're like, are you going to manually do all this from number 1 all the way to 1,000? You don't have to do that. The simplest way, just look for, by default, you will see this tiny box on every on every cell you click on. So when I click on this cell, you see this tiny box that when I hover on it, my cursor will change. You can see my cursor is a big white, um, should I say cross now? But when I move it on this, it becomes a tiny black cursor. So yes. So the best thing for you to to quickly save time, you can just double click on that. You can double click on it, or you can just quickly drag down, or you can just hold it down. Once you move on it, and you can see that the cursor has changed to this tiny black cursor. You can just click down on it and drag down. As you're dragging down, you see Excel giving you this smart visual that, oh, okay, something is happening here, and you release. Once you release, Excel would automatically you know, help you, should I say, help you replicate? Yes, Excel will automatically help you replicate what you have here into your remaining cells. So here we said 50 plus 50 equals 100, or 50 plus 60 equals 110. Same here, 130. This one too, the first one I dragged down, this one I'm just going to double click on it, and we have what we have here. Extra credits. Click and drag to select the four cells, and then press Ctrl D. This is another way, but this is more, this is when you are more comfortable with Excel. I would recommend you do this. Once you click down, you just click on Ctrl D, and it will automatically help you, run your duplicates. Just 1 minute. Yeah, sorry about that. So do we all get that? If you understand that, just give me a thumbs up. All right, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we can also use the fill handle to copy cell. Sometimes when you copy something in Excel, sometimes you don't need the numbers to change as a fill. Instead, just want to copy values to other adjacent cells. And here is how to do that. Click the cell with the word produce, rest your cursor on the lower right like I explained before, then drag down across the cell. Now select the cell with the word fruit, rest your cursor right, and do the same thing, and that is that. You can do the same thing for, you know, for even stuffs, even data sets that are not numbers. And when you do that, you would get this little drop down, or this little option that would appear in your Excel. You get this little drop down that would appear in your Excel, depending on what you want to do. Do you want to copy cell? Do you want to fill formatting only? Fill formatting meaning you want to maintain the style that the data you are copying, the style it's as you want to maintain it across what you are copying. Or flash fill. Flash fill is just telling us that, oh, once a new data comes in, oh, this would automatically fill down. I don't have to do anything. Uh Fill a series. So Excel can automatically fill some cells based on a series. For example, you can type January in one cell and then fill the other cells automatically. It automatically fill with February, March. Now, if I click on this now, and also you don't, it's not just downwards. You can drag to. You can also drag to the left, to the right of your Excel Excel workspace. But most times it is advisable to drag right and down. So for this, we'll drag to the right to get the other months for this. I can see Excel has automatically helped us to quickly you know add this. Also for the week one, we'll do the same thing. It would help us fill it. If we do the same thing for this quarter and we drag down, it would automatically give us those quarters. So Excel is smart like that. Let me put it out. Yeah, Excel is smart like that. To know all these nuances. So that is that on that. So I would want to go back to our next okay, I'll look at sort and filter now. Sort and filter. Let me increase this. Hmm. So you have this. I feel like this one is even very sort and filter is what a lot of us need it, even if you are not a data analyst. Why do I say this? I'm sure maybe in our workspace, I have an example, a perfect example in my head actually. You have to come every day. Your company has this Excel sheet they used to track. Maybe your name, they have a name of the list of staffs, maybe some scores has been assigned to you, and you need to quickly look at, oh, what did I get? Or maybe not even pertaining to yourself. You want to quickly look at, oh, who scored the highest? You want to do quick um amebo. Oh, who scored the highest on this score? Or, oh, which company has the highest? A quick way to look at that is sorting and filtering. And there are different ways we can do this. There are different ways actually. I can think of like 5 different ways you can do this. You can use conditional formatting, to do this. We can decide to change this to a table. You can decide to change this to a table and apply filter to it. You know, different ways we can filter out the names, the category, or the month, depending on how you want it. But I'll go with the example that is here. So say let's say you want the department in alphabetical order. So that is this department. We want it in alphabetical order. So the first thing you do is click on the department column and then click on home, sort filter, blah blah blah, sort A to Z. So I'll be nice here and follow the example that has been assigned to us over here. So I click in the department column, then I go to home. Okay, home. Where is salt? This is salt and filter. I click on salt and filter A to Z. And you can see, let me undo. Once I click on salt and filter, say sort A to Z, you would see that it will change the whole table. Department has inserted A to Z. Our first letter is letter B, meaning we have bakery, deli, meat, and produce. Then we can also sort by numbers as well. We want to sort from, the December amount from the largest to the lowest. We can do the same thing. This is December. Sort and filter. I'll come to Comstor sort because as you can see, I don't have largest to smallest here. So I'll click on custom sort values. Yes. Options. Okay, I don't have this here. Hmm. Okay, another way for me to do this, let me just make this a table. Make this a table. Okay. All right. So I want to sort the numbers for December. I want to sort it from the largest, smallest. Meaning I want to do it in ascending order. So I'll select what is it I want to what is it I want to filter? Ascending. No, descending. So descending gives me from the largest to the smallest, meaning meat category or meat department is our highest for December, all the way down to Delhi under sandwich of 20,000, while meat is $2 million, while the lowest we have is $20,000. Um, so under our extra credit, when you are done with step 5, oh, okay, I didn't even follow this. Try sorting alphabetically by 2 columns. Okay, I'll leave this to us. When I share this file with us, we can look at it. So we can also sort by date or even color. There are many ways to sort in Excel. You know, this has been formatted to a table format already. So once you see that your table, or once you see that you have this little drop down or these little icons on your Excel, just know that the file has been sorted. It has been sorted. It has been made a table. This is now a table format. If it is not table, you won't see this. You can see that when I was explaining earlier, we didn't have this table ribbon. But once you have a table, you would have an additional ribbon that shows you, oh, this is a table. This is a table. You would see that. Yes, so we have more ways to filter data. We can filter data in as many ways as possible. So moving to our next tab, tables. So one of the first things we always advise is that the first thing you want to do once you have a data in Excel is to make it into a table. Like is to make it into a table format. Like just make it a table. That way Excel is able to properly identify your data and it makes things easier. A table gives you special features and conveniences, and it tells us how to create one. The first thing is you need to click inside your data and go to insert. When you come to insert, you see the table here. This is table over here. Your table obviously has header. Every table has to have an header. Like every table, it's not possible for you to have a table that would not have header. It's not possible. So my table has headers. You always have to like click on this checkbox and click OK. And you can see it automatically formatted this for us. Our table was looking, unpleasant before, or our data was looking unpleasant before, but immediately we made it into a table, it's looking more presentable, you know, it's looking presentable. Everything is aligned. Okay, now you have a table which is a collection of cells that adds special features. For starters, a table gives you bounded rows for easier reading. Yes, for easier reading, a table lets you easily see what you are working with. Oh, I know that, oh, this is produce. Everything is on the same line. And I have the values for the different months. You can also create new rows easily. In an empty cell underneath, type some text and then enter and then press enter. A new row for the table will have. All right, so it's telling me to do something underneath. So if I type something here, let's say I type um what's that thing again? Plantain. You can see that automatically it has aligned the table with me, meaning the table has expanded, meaning as more data comes into your table, gives those data the applicable formatting. This might not make sense for those of us that are just using Excel for the first time, but once you begin to work more with data in Excel, you would understand that. You can also create columns easily in the lower right corner of the table. Click on the resize and drag it to the right column. So this is what it means. Then I should drag this. You can see that automatically it also gives me the next 2 months. I don't even have to do anything. It Excel already knows that, oh, after November, December, the next thing is January, February, and it's helped us to automatically add that. Mhm. Then another thing we can easily do, let's say we have a table like this and we want to quickly check, oh, what's the total value of all these numbers over here. I know that the next instinct is to maybe quickly type equals to and do equals to sum. Yes, we can do that. That is not a crime, but we can also easily, use our table to our advantage. So as you can see, it says select any cell within the table on the right. At the top of the Excel, the table to design. So click on our table to design. This should appear. So once I click on this, I'm supposed to, all right, yeah. Once you click on your table ribbon, you see total row. So total row will let us know that, oh, this guy quickly he wants to check what is the total value of sales. And once I click that, it quickly gives me 24,000. Now, the beauty of this, why I like this for me is that I have the ability to know just some. I can also check other things. You know that if I had typed out sum, I would only be able to perform one one operation, which is to find the addition of everything. But this total row option that we use, it allows us to, to do a variety of things. We can also check not just the total, we can check average, we can check what is the minimum, what is the maximum of all these sales. So if I click on this drop down, you can see the different functions that we have. You can see average. If I click on average, if I click count, so I quickly want to see how many occurrence do we have. I can click count. We have 8. And if I check truly, we have 8 of them. We have 8 of them here. So what else? Count number, max. If I want to see what's the maximum number, I click on it. $8,000. What's the minimum number? 1,000. What's the sum? What's the standard deviation? What's the variance? That's what this total row gives us under under our table ribbon. All right, so I would give us I would give us I would take 10 minutes break actually to to just relax. So if you have questions so far, this now is the right time to ask your question. Or before going forward, I would answer this question just to relax a bit before we'll move to our formulas and functions now. We'll look at that once we come back by 12:30. So yeah, the question here says, I am a beginner without prior knowledge or experience at all. How would I know which tool is better and why Excel? Okay. So the truth is, it depends on how you landed yourself to become a data analyst, or how easy you think it would be for you. Some people start um, their data analysis journey as using Python. Like they use Python as the first tool they would use ever. Doesn't mean Python is the easiest, but that was the first thing they were exposed to. So, but what I would say is that why it is Excel is because Excel is very, very, very easy to learn. It is very, very easy, to pick up. Even if you've not used Excel before, just coming to Excel, you could just with a small explanation, you are up and running. And Excel is widely used. Like there is almost no place that I've looked at that they don't use Excel. I can't think of the organization. I have not seen it. I've not seen it. Or if anybody on this call has seen where Excel as an organization, they don't use Excel. It will be very rare. Even if you don't use Excel, you will use Google Sheet. You will use a form of spreadsheet. And Excel is the most popular one. We have Google Sheet, obviously, which is also almost like Excel. We have WPS. We have different spreadsheets that we can use, but Excel is the easiest. Yeah, is the easiest. Like very, very easy to pick up. And how would you know which tool is better? No tool is better. Every tool has their own pros and their own cons. Like every tool, like I mentioned earlier, once your data is more than 1,000 rows, I say 1,000, 1 million rows, as an organization, you begin to worry. You begin to find alternatives, to Excel. So like that is one of the downsides of it. You can't run big, large enterprise analysis on Excel. It's not possible. Any other question? I hope I've been able to answer your question. That's Alright. Any other question before we move to?
Sorry, Yokiki. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the answer. I got it now. So another thing, as you were doing the explanation and stuff, so I was trying to like check the Excel interface to better understand. Oh, this is what he's talking about. This is what he's talking about. But then I can't even sign in to even begin with. It's saying that it is blocked or something. I can't sign in or do anything.
Okay. Are you just using Excel for the first time?
Yes, remember I said I'm a beginner. So
Okay,
yes.
okay. Can you let's see your screen. Kindly quickly share your screen. Let's look at it.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I think your network went off.
Yeah, I said quickly, kindly share your screen so I can quickly look at it.
Okay, okay. Mm, okay. Can you see it now? Okay, let me try and you see this is what it is saying. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can see your screen. Click on
Okay.
blank, click on blank workbook. Blank workbook.
Blank
Okay.
workbook. Okay. See it's asking me to sign in or close Excel.
Wait, I can't see you.
See if I close it, it closes down. Then let me try and open it again. Can you see my screen now? See, same.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
still the same. This one keeps popping up, so I can't do anything.
Okay, okay. All
So if
right,
I
no
try to
problem.
sign in,
Okay, okay. Yeah. This is after the class. You'd
okay,
have to, so the issue is probably you'd have to get a license, a Microsoft license to be able to use Excel. But after the class, you can look at this.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Any other question? Any other question from anybody else? No other question. All right. So would would move. Our 10 minutes break is over. Let me share this. All right. So this is functions, introduction to functions, which is going to be the bulk of what we'll talk about today. Um. So, uh, for my previous explanation or my earlier explanation, you know, functions give us the ability, to do various varieties of things like perform mathematical operations, look up values, or even calculate date and times. And the easiest or the most common of all functions is the sum function. Because who doesn't want to add one or two things together, to arrive at a bigger number? So, like I explained earlier, the combination of our equals to plus our function plus our argument, makes what we call formula. Now, uh, we'll be using our walkthrough guide here. So under the amount column for fruits, cell D7, enter sum of D3, D6. So this is D7, yes. As you can see, this is 170, but if you look at our formula bar over here, we have equals to sum D3, D6, meaning that these are sum up, from apples all the way to lemons. We have our summation of apple all the way to lemon, meaning the total number of fruits or the total value of fruit we bought is 170 naira. Let me use naira. 170 naira is the total value of fruit that was brought. And we can quickly replicate that equals to, so sign your equals to, then sum. Now there's also something in Excel, IntelliSense. So IntelliSense is what brings out um these options for us. It's like a quick auto correct. Let me put it like that. A quick auto correct. So it should quickly tell us that, oh, is this what you want to do? Oh, do you quickly want to do some? Is this some you want to do? Or is this some products? You now say, oh, it's some I want to do. To now open the bracket for you. You will now see, okay, to now tell you, oh yeah, oh, you have to sum more than one numbers, or more than one cell. Yes, you have to sum. At least you can't add one number together now. It's not possible. For you to add properly, you need to add more than one numbers or more than one cell in this case. So in this case, we are adding beef all the way to chicken. That is what we want to add here. And we click enter, and we can see that our total value is 140. Our total value is 140 by the summation of this. Our total value is 140. Hold on, please. I'm trying to. It just took my light, so I need to sort out how to share the screen again. Hmm. All right. All right. So this is just more example explaining, functions to us or formulas to us. So this says that this is the function name, and this is the first argument. It is almost always required. It is not even possible for it not to be required. It is almost always required. Then additional argument that is separated by commas. So once you see a comma, meaning, oh, we are adding more argument to this, so we're adding more argument to this, to this formula for it to be more robust. So we'll do a quick example here. So equals to sum. Let's sum this again. Summing all the way to pi, and we see that our total value for items is 260 naira. Okay, for this, you say we should try the count function using any of the methods I will previously show. I'll say equals to count. Just do your equals to and say whatever it is you want to. What is that? I don't know to try. Okay, just do your equals to side and say whatever it is you want Excel to do for you. So in this case, we want Excel to count for us. And what do we want Excel? We want it to count the total in this place. You can see that the total number or the number of times this shows is 5 times. So we can see that we have 5. We can even say these are 5 different prices. You can say these are 5 different prices, and that is counts. Any question? Any question? No questions. All right. Okay. So just like the sum function, the same logic applies to the other applies to average as well. I wanted to say average, sorry. Applies to average, or basically every other um every other functions we are looking at. Let's say we want to find, okay, what is the max of this. All we just have to do is equals to max to tell us, okay, oh, this is this is our this is this is what you have to do for us to get the max. We need numbers, so we select our numbers and enter, and we can see that our max number here is 50. Max. If I change this, we have 250 here. If I change this to 60, it will change. Our max number will change. And if I change this to, let's say, 80, our max number, also changes. If I do this also for me, that will be equals to mean. Then what is our number? Please give us the number. Our minimum number is 20. If I change this to 5, the minimum number should change to 5. So that is basically, how you get your formulas from using functions. That's how you get your formulas from using functions. Then average just quickly tells us that, oh, we want to quickly find, the average of all these numbers. So instead of us doing that secondary school average we usually do, where you add up the whole numbers and you divide it by the number of occurrence. That is what Excel does also, but it also does it in a quicker, faster way. So equals to average. And we select all the numbers we want to select. And we can see that our average is 42.5, meaning the average price for fruits is 42 naira, or 42 naira 5 kobo, in that way. 42 naira 5 kobo. Do the same thing for this average. Our average is 35. Our average for the meat category is 35. So we can also try median, mode. These are all functions that are available in Excel. Median. Median is 50. Median means that is the number in the middle of our data set, while mode means the one that occurs most, the ones that occurs most frequently. Yes, most frequently. That's what mode tells us. Let's do mode. Okay, 50 is the number that occurs the most. And if you check 51, 50 appears 2 times. 50 appeared 2 times. Then min max, I already explained min max already. Minimum is what is the minimum number? What is the smallest number in our range of data? While maximum, what is the largest, what is the biggest number in our range of numbers? If statements. So the way I explain if statement, or the way I see if statement, is that, just like today is Saturday, maybe some of us, as we've gone to the market today, or we want to go to the market maybe after this class, or at the time we've gone to the market, and you are looking at, okay, when I get to the market, I'm going to buy, for example, what do I usually buy? Yeah, let's say I want to get a drink. I'll say that, if I see this drink, I'll buy something else. Or if I don't see this drink, I'll buy something else. That's basically what if statement is. If it's telling us that, if this is true, we should do this. But if it is not true, do something else. That's what if statement tells us. So, and in our example, it's saying that, yes, if statement allows you to make logical comparison between conditions. So logic is basically logic, true or false. And if statement generally says that if one condition is true, do something. Otherwise, do something else. So if A is true, do A. But if A is not true, do B. That's what it's saying. The formula can return text, values, or even no calculation. So it's saying that in cell D9, this is cell D9, enter if C9 equals to apple, it should return true, if else false. So I will explain this. So if I'm saying equals to if, so you can see that it shows me that, oh, what is the logical test? Like, what do you want to test for? What is that thing you want to debunk? What is the thing you want to test for? So we want to see that, oh, if what is in cell C9, oh, if it is apple, oh, so if C9 equals to apple, if C9 equals to apple, so value if true. Now, how to get to the next thing is by our comma. You can see that once I input our comma, it takes me to the next argument. So it's now saying, okay, what should the value be if it is true? Okay, if it is true, let's say yes. I'll say yes. Oh yeah, if it is true, what do we say? I'll say lie. Lies. Then we close brackets. Then we say enter. Now you can see that it shows there that yes, what is in cell C9 is true. Oh, Excel, what is in cell C9? What this person say is actually true. So we can. But if I change, let's say I now change this C9, I change it to banana. What will happen? It has changed. It's now saying that, oh, what is in cell C9 is not apple. It is now something. It's not even that it is apple. It is now something that I do not recognize. Because what we've told our formula is that if, as long as anything that is C9 is apple, you should say yes. But if it is not apple, if it's not related to apple in any way, shape, or form, you have to debunk it that it is a lie. So that is, then I will quickly do for this two equals to C10 equals to if C10 if C10 equals to orange, if C10 equals to orange, supposed to add this. If C10 equals to orange, value is true, true. Value is false, false. Close brackets. Okay, now why did we get this? Why did it get this error? Why did we get this error, if you may ask? Because my function or one of my arguments is wrong. Instead of me typing true, I typed trye. Now there are two main difference here. There are two different things that has happened here, and I'm not sure anybody has has noticed that. You notice that in my argument for yes and lies, I added them in a quote, but for true and false, I didn't add them in a quote. Can anybody explain why that is? Can somebody explain why that is? Is anybody willing to explain why? If there's nobody, I would explain. Okay. So there are some things that are called. Oh, somebody wants to explain. Yes, please. Go on.
I just based on what I'm screening on this on the what I'm seeing on the screen, the first one that you added you added a quote to.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe to emphasize the arguments. Yes, that's what I think. I don't know. Like
Okay.
like you said, if C9 is apple, yes or no? And then the other one, he said orange. If C10 is orange, true or false? So maybe to like emphasize it, I don't know. That's just I don't know. I exactly don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. Maybe you just want to emphasize the argument.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't know what it is called now. I can't remember it, but there are some things in programming, for example. There are some words that have been reserved. Like they've been reserved for, especially when you are doing um it's not that pronounced in Excel, but if you're into programming, there are some things that are reserved for the programming language. So, for example, in Excel, true and false, they are reserved for Excel, especially if they are in a formula. Please note that too, especially if they are in a formula. Outside of a formula, they mean almost nothing. They mean just the normal text that they have. But once they are in a formula, it means that anywhere true is in a formula, you will know that, oh, this thing has been reserved for Excel. I'm not the one that reserved it. It is people who created it that reserved it. That is why I did not add it. I did not add code to it for this orange because they are standalone. Regardless of they work regardless of the codes being added or not being added. So, and the first one, the reason why I added code to them is because they are text. When you want to work with text in a formula, you have to put them in a quote. When you want to work with text in a formula, you have to put them in a quote, or else you would get error, or else your formula or your argument will not will not come out as it should. Are there other command like that too? At this point, I don't think I can answer that. I don't know. But I know of true or false. But if it is in other programming language, there are more. There are more. But I know of true and false. I know that one is like a general, it's like a general thing. So, oh, I didn't even know they explained it here. So, true and false are unlike other words in Excel formulas in that they don't need to be in quotes, and Excel would automatically capitalize them. Numbers don't need to be in quotes either. Regular text like yes or no does need to be in quotes like this. So regular text, like I said, they need to be in quotes. If not, you get an error. You get an error. There is one. Is it? No. Okay. So we look at conditional functions. Conditional functions. So just like our if, it is it is one way. It is just basically telling us to make you know comparison between conditions. But our sum ifs, our conditional functions, we have quite a lot of them actually. They are all down here. We have sum ifs, we have average ifs, we have count ifs, we have max ifs, and we have min ifs. We have a lot of them. So basically, what it is saying is that, let me use this table for example. So let's say you want to, um, okay, we have this data set now. We have this data set. So we want to look at, quickly, we want to look at what is the total amount of oranges that came out of Florida. Ah, once you look at it, you'll be like, how would you solve this? You look at oranges that are of Florida type, or let's say we have a data set of population in Nigeria, and we have the sex in one column, that is male and female, and we have the tribe of each people in another column. Oh, this person is from Ogun State, this person is from Oyo State, this person is from Delta State, this person is from Imo State, this person is from Abuja, and so on like that. Now I want to see, what is the total number of female that came out that are represented in Ekiti State. Some if is one of those things that can help us to find that. So basically, we are telling Excel that, okay, sum this thing if, and the if is that, okay, if this condition is true, sum this part for me. So here is a perfect example. So it's telling Excel that, okay, only sum if the fruit is apples. Like if it is apple, sum it. But if it is not apple, don't sum it for me. So how do we do that? We say equals to, and we call our function sum if. So it's telling us that, okay, what's the range of what you want to sum? What range? Okay, you say, okay, the range I want you to look at is this fruit range. Go from C3 all the way to C14. You say, okay. So what is the criteria now? What is the criteria? Criteria meaning that you said I should look at all these places. But once I look at all these places, what do you want me to pick out from there? What we want you to pick out is apples. And apples is in what? Is in C17. Then comma. All right. You said I should look at all these things, and you said I should pick out apples. What do you now want me to do with them? Is it that I should just be looking at them, or do you want me to perform a magic, or do you want me to add numbers together? It is numbers we want it to add together, because the formula basically says sum if. So once you see sum if, you already know that, you are adding numbers together. That's your end goal. So we are adding amount. Okay. So we can see that the total amount for apples is 150. If we do a quick check of this, let's do a quick check and say we just want to filter out only apples. You can see that we have just 3 apples. We have just 3 apples, and everything also equates to 150. But if you now take it further, like we take it up a notch and say, so taking it up a notch means that we are adding more criteria, like to our, we are adding more than one criteria, and you can add as many criteria as you like. You can add up to 10 criteria to your Excel formulas. So this one will say, okay, equals to some ifs, some ifs, sum range. What do you want to sum? This is what we want to sum range. Then criteria range 1. Criteria range 1 is what? Is fruit. Then what is the criteria range? Oranges. Then what is criteria range true? Type. And what is the criteria range for true? That is G17, 20. All the oranges that came out of Florida, the total amount is 20. Are we still following? I hope I've not lost anybody. All right. We are still following, which is good. Great. We have countifs. So countifs, this is also the same, like would also be using the same logic, but obviously the our answers will be different. What would eventually arrive at will be different. So for countifs, basically we are just counting. We just want to count that, oh, if so and so thing aligns, oh, count them. If not, don't count it. It's just like you are in how do I explain this now? You have clothes, you have different types of clothing in your house. You now want to know the total types of clothes you have. You want to count, oh, the total trousers you have, or the total number of shirts you have, or the total number of pants that you have. You can decide to count everything once. That is your sum. You can decide to sum everything. Oh, maybe you have total number of clothing 150. That's the total number of clothing that you have. You now want to categorize them. Oh, how many pants do I have? How many shirts do I have? How many singlets do I have? How many underwear do I have? That's basically what count if is. And the count ifs just means you are adding more criteria to what you are counting. And the same happens with every other conditional functions that we have. The sum if, the sum ifs, the average ifs, the count ifs, the max if, and the mean ifs. Coming back here to VLOOKUP, this is more advanced, but I will still explain it. I like explaining VLOOKUP because it took me a while. It took me a while to understand VLOOKUP. I will not even lie. It took me a long while to understand VLOOKUP, and I don't understand why it took me that long, but it sure took me a while. So VLOOKUP is basically telling us that, oh, we want to look at something from the left side of our table and return it to the right side. That might not make sense, but I would explain. So equals to VLOOKUP. So let's say we have information on here. Hold on. So let's say we have a large set, and this all these are quite applicable, when you have large data sets. When you have large data sets, but you quickly want to do a quick check on something, all these things is like filtering also. We could quickly filter, apples. I want to look at what is the value of apples, but a quicker way is to use VLOOKUP. So let's say we want to look at apples, for example. We want to find out what is the value of apples in the list of all the information we have. What way do we do this? What other way can we use? We can use VLOOKUP. So what do we do? Let me first read out what this our file has explained VLOOKUP today. It says VLOOKUP is one of the most widely used functions in Excel and one of our favorites. VLOOKUP lets you look up a value in a column on the left, then return information in another column to the right if it finds a match. Remember, if it finds a match. So if it does not find a match, it will not return anything. So basically, we are looking up information from here and we are returning information from here. Meaning you are looking at it on the left side, but the solution you want to come out with is on the right side. You are looking at it on the left, and the solution you are looking for is on the right side. So basically, we are looking at apples on the left, but what we want to bring out is the amount that apple costs. That's what we want to bring out on the right. So we say equals to VLOOKUP. Equals to VLOOKUP. What is that thing we want to look for? We want to look for what? We want to look for apple. All right, it will now ask you. All right, now that you want to look for apple. I remember that I said that we are looking for something on the right, but we are bringing out the solution on the left. Meaning you have to make sure that you capture everything. Meaning what is on the right, or what is on the left, to what is on the right. You have to capture it. So how do we capture it? That is what they call table array. So we select our table array from our left to our right, all the way down. And we say comma. So column index number. So column index number means that thing you are looking for on the right, how is it positioned? On what position of your table is it at? So we said what we are looking for is on the right, but what we want to return is on the left. Or what we are looking for is on the left, sorry, but what we want to return is on the right. Meaning we have two columns, left and right. What we are looking for on the left and what we want to find out is on the right. So our column index number is 2, meaning our solution is on the 2. Your solution is always on the column you want to specify, meaning that if we select, for example, if we select more than 2 like this, we've selected from C17 to G20, meaning we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 columns in total. If what I'm looking for is on column G, I am selecting 5. My column index number is going to be 5. If what I'm looking for is on column F, my column index number will be 4. If what I'm looking for is on column E, my column index number will be 3. But for our case here, our column index number is 2, because what we are looking for is on the column of amount, comma. Then what we are looking for is the exact match. We are not looking for approximate match. We are looking for exact match. And we say, okay. Now this brings us to apples at 50, meaning the amount for apple is 50. Now, the way we've done this, if we filter our our cell to banana, it will change. Our banana will change, our lemon will change. That is VLOOKUP as a that. So any question on that? I know. It can look it looks very daunting, but with practice, it's nothing. It's not hard. I can assure you. I'm saying it from experience. It's not hard though. It's not hard. Any question? Seems that only one person asked question in this class. Any question? Any question? No question. All right.
Hi Yukiki. Sorry, I would like to say that if you can go over the VLOOKUP again, it's very confusing. I don't even get it. I didn't get it at all. I don't know if others got it, but it's really
Okay.
confusing. Thank you.
All right. No problem. I would explain it again. This time I would like to use an example. Where is it? Okay. So I'll keep it very simple. My screen again. Okay. I think this is showing up. So imagine, can I get a large data set? I can get. Hmm, Many people look for a data set that has enough. Hmm. All right. So VLOOKUP. Let's say I want to look at okay, I have this taxi. So let's say I want to look for I have this data over here. I have distributor ID, distributor name, country, product code, sales channel, the date they sold the item, the month sold, the quantity, the unit price. I have all this over here and I have the revenue that was made. But I now quickly want to look at, oh, what is the revenue for, let's say, this Devon Abbott now, or this, let's just pick one person. Let's say Noble One Winner. Let's copy his distributor ID and paste it here. His distributor ID is here. Let's say I want to look for his revenue. Distributor. And revenue is over here. So let's say, yeah, I quickly want to look at, oh, what is the revenue for this person? One way to use VLOOKUP is this. So, like from my example, say equals to VLOOKUP, we have to call out the function first. Now we've called out the function. What are we looking for? We already know that what we are looking for is this distributor ID. So we select it. That is our lookup value. Once we've selected that, we say comma. So what is our table array? Our table array is where our data is, like the array of data we have, basically meaning our whole data set. Our table array is from column A2 all the way to revenue, because remember what we are looking for is revenue. What we are looking for is revenue. So we say comma. Now, column index number, meaning since we already know that it is revenue we want to find, we have to count from the beginning. Remember when I was explaining, I said we look at something from the left, but we return the solution from the right. So meaning we'll be counting from the left to our right. So how do we do that? We count from the distributor ID, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Meaning our column index number is going to be 10. Then we say comma. Then we pick false. False is what we want every time. False is not what we want every single time. And we can see that our revenue is 1928.07. 1928.07. 1928.07. That is how you use VLOOKUP to quickly look up for something. Doesn't mean that you can't quickly look up something, like you can, like we have the find and select, this one over here. We have this. You can quickly find, you can click on find and say, oh, we are looking for distributor ID of 23324, and doesn't mean we won't find it. We'll find it. This is it over here. This is it over here. So, but a quicker way and a faster way is this VLOOKUP, especially when you have a large data set. I hope you that explains it better.
Yes, it
I
did
would
better, but
yes,
I guess with practice, sure. So
yeah, I would on the group chat I would share more. I would share more examples on the group chat, or more resources you can look at to
okay,
better understand, you know and also I would share that far as well.
all right,
So
thank you.
you're welcome. So yes, I think that is that. I didn't plan for this to go this very long. We've we didn't cover a lot. We can't cover all, but I think we've covered enough. So we would, if there's anyone with questions, you can ask your question. If there's anyone with question, you can ask your question. Do you have question? Do you have any question? That you want me to?
Ye- Not
Hello, good
really.
afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Yeah, I'd like to find are these the only formula in Excel that we usually work with on a daily basis, or Are there other formulas that a layman can just use?
Okay, these are not the only formulas. We in Excel we have. Okay, sorry about that. In Excel we have we have over we have over 400 functions. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we have over 400 questions. And the truth is you can't you can't use everything. Like I also mentioned, I think I'm only familiar with about 20 or so of them, about 20 of them. And on a day-to-day, you would probably interact with about 10 of them. It might not even be up to 10, if I'm being honest. If I look at my job, for example, I tend to use VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, some ifs. Uh, yeah, I just mentioned three now. Those are the ones I use on a daily, but I use VLOOKUP like almost every time. Like, so it also depends on, how your organization is structured, or what you are using your what you are using your or how you are doing your analysis. Yes, how you are doing your analysis. That is how, you would tap into all these functions in Excel. And when you say layman, that would be, maybe the basic functions that we have. That's like maybe you are summing, or you are adding, you are dividing, you are doing multiplication, and all that. So that is, yeah, that would be your
So,
layman. For
okay,
any
so are you saying that this VLOOKUP, sum if, count if, I mean, yes, count if, are they like an advanced formula compared to the arithmetic one?
Okay, I'll say that VLOOKUP is even the advanced one. That all those sum ifs, not really advanced. They are not advanced. They are basic.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Okay. Welcome. So any other question?
Sorry, another question I did want to ask is, I know this is like a free class, but then is there a way we can like, um I don't know how long or how you want to do this, whether there will still be another possible chance to have this session. We can't get it just once. There has to be like practice. So that's why I'm asking if you like can show us practical examples, like maybe working on a data set, like a fresh job, whether just anything basically to continue, continuous learning. I don't hold the scope or the plan that you have for that. So that's why I'm just asking to get clarification whether there is going to be another class or another session together like this.
All right, thank you for that. I have another class, but the class won't be free. Starting next week, weekend, it will run for it's going to run for a month, and would get to spend. let me look for let me share this. Let me quickly share that. All right, let me share this. Okay, so starting next week actually, there would be a boot camp that's running. So it would also be for those people in this class that decides to join. So it will be a continuation of how we've started today. You know, even in depth, where for the duration of a month, that is 8 classes in total. That is my plan to to take us uh, through this process, and at the end we would come out with two distinct projects. We would also introduce us to Power BI as well, so not just Excel. So we'd go in depth more than we've done today for the class. So that is the plan. So if you're interested, and it is just for 20 people, the just 20 people. That's the total number of seats available. So if you're interested, that is the next plan starting next week Saturday. It should be 23rd, not 16 actually. So that is the plan that I've seen. So if you want to further in this, that is the plan. I'll share more on this on the group chat if you're on the group chat, and I would also I'll share more on this on the group chat. Any other question?
Hi. Please, how can we join the group chat? And how do we get the recordings of this class?
Okay, I think if you if you're on the group chat, was the link sent to you? If you registered, I'm sure you should, because the link chat was, let me see if I can do it. Let me share it. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to copy this and bring it here for you. All right. So I've shared the link on the chat for you, so you can join. I shared the link to the chat for you. You can join there. So I'll share the recording on the I'll share the recording on the group chat. So somebody sent a yield classes on financial modeling. Can we talk? You can send me a message on WhatsApp. We'll talk about this. Ola,
Also, okay.
go on.
I wanted to say you remember I told you I've not been able to like register, sign up on Excel. So I don't know if you can help with that.
Okay. Yes. So for that, you would basically just have to take your. So what I normally do is you take your laptop to all these software people, engineers. They would they usually have this Excel. Um, they have those pass keys that they would help you with. To I think it cost about 5K to set up. So if you have maybe where there's if you can go to computer village or yeah, all those basically people that repair laptops, they would be able to do it for you. They would install the whole Microsoft Office suite, for you, and you'll be good to go.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. No other question. So this recording will be shared on the group chat. So for us, who didn't join at the beginning would have, so that we watch this and stay up to date. So I would also share more about the classes starting next week on the group chat as well, so that for those who would be interested, so we can come on board as well and complete this. So thank you everyone for staying up to this time. I know 3 hours is a lot of time. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope to talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.